Hey guys, it's TF now. Welcome back to the channel. Today we have another action figure review. This is going to be of the brand new McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Bane Mega Figure. This review is going to hopefully be shorter than originally planned because if any of you saw one of my recent videos, my laptop that I do pretty much all my editing on broke recently. So yeah, I can't really work on videos the way I would like to anymore. At least for now, but I was getting a little stir crazy with not doing any reviews, so I am, for the time being, this isn't permanent of course, going to be doing some reviews on my cell phone. Hopefully they're going to be shorter than normal, just to save time and save your time with watching. I am redoing the review of this Bane that I already filmed, which is unfortunate that I have to redo it, but I know what I'm going to say already, so it's not going to be that big of a deal. The figure overall is really nice. It does have some shortcomings that I knew we were going to have, though, once the figure was announced. So before we take a look at the actual figure, I don't have the packaging anymore, but here is what I took an image of. On the inside of the packaging, we have the card and the base there that we get a lot with McFarlane Toys DC figures. Okay, to start off, looks like we're looking at about 23 to 24 centimeters, depending on how tall you want to go, to the top of the head or the top of the tubes. That's going to make this figure really close to 9 inches, a little over 9 inches, I believe. So it's a pretty tall figure. It's 2 inches taller than normal McFarlane Toys figures, and definitely about 3 inches taller than 6-inch scale and 1/12 scale figures. Let's zoom in a little bit and give you guys a look at the figure here. This is, I think, really nice looking overall. I do think some of the details could be better in some areas. I think the muscles, they have like this basic wash in some of these little crevices and areas. And I think the sculpting overall could be a little bit better. I think the wash helps bring out those details, so that's nice. I do really like this head sculpt. This head sculpt rocks. I really like the gray contrast with the black there. It's molded in black. The red on the eyes is really smooth and, not splotched. I think there might be some gray splotched onto the black, but it's not super duper noticeable. You do see that lime green, or neon green really, paint app mark on the silver tube there, the back of the head. All these tubes, these two tubes that are softer plastic going onto this, basically this gas tank on the back. All of that looks, I think it looks pretty nice. This whole thing, the way it's textured and painted, is very cool too. It looks kind of rough and beat up. And we have this like almost olive drab or like dark brown, brownish, greenish harness all throughout the figure. And we have some, looks like there's some black, that shouldn't be there. It's like some of the paint was gone or something, or some black paint gone here. Doesn't look super natural, but I really like the detailing on the actual pouches and the buttons too. And these buckles and straps too. I've seen some reviews where I'm pretty sure that they pointed out that these are supposed to go downward, whereas these are going upward. I honestly, I can agree that it looks a little weird, but I don't hate it. If I'm being honest, I can forgive it. There is some black splotched onto the green here. Looks pretty decent on this cross section strap there. Now, when we take a look at these muscles, lots of little nice details in the muscles here. I think it looks really good. I do think I've seen some people paint on Instagram. They've painted up the veins to be more green. I kind of wish they did that here too. I'm not gonna knock it too hard for them. Just give them some basic veins though. So that's more of just of a subjective thing. It looks like they do have like a wash in some areas. It looks more matte here, more washed, like on the back of the bicep. This whole tricep on camera looks a lot more washed out. If you can see, I think it might be, the quality of the phone camera as well as the lighting. And then we have the gloves. I really, really wish we had some alternate hands, but I did order some from Customizer that should hopefully come in by next month. Hopefully, I don't know yet. But we do have, nice detailing in the gloves. I'm pretty sure the back of the hand here is supposed to have some skin detail as well as the knuckles though. So that's a little off, but the actual fingers and the fingernails, all that looks really good. The creases on the fingers, the actual detailing of the fabric on the glove all the way around looks really good, I think. And then you have this hand too, very similar. in design. You have this really big cuff piece around the tricep, this silver and red piece here, which has a soft plastic tube. Be careful not to break this. I've also seen on some reviews, they've pointed out, pretty sure there's supposed to be a tube connecting here and here. I think there was design limitations and articulation limitations because of that, so I can kind of forgive it, but I do wish they did connect. I'm sure someone out there has some extra tubing that, or plastic they can attach to. And, you know, some of the skin tone is bleeding a little bit onto the black here, but it's not too bad looking. Then we have this this belt that actually has some really great silver details with a red paint, just like a dark red paint application in the center there. Looking really clean all the way around. This belt looks really great. I forgot to mention the tank top. The black tank top has some nice wrinkles and lines going all the way around. And you look on the back too. All that looks really good. I really like what detailing they did with like the material on the pants too. You look in the back of the pockets, how those over the pants on how those pockets look, I should say. The pants just look great overall. And I don't think, you know, in person this looks a little bit more, and I wouldn't say glossy. This crotch piece, the soft plastic crotch piece, is definitely more matte in person than here. But honestly, they both blend well, really well together, I think. So I'm not going to complain too much there. Nice wrinkles and pockets all the way around the thighs. And then you get to these patchy parts, like whatever these patches are on the knees. And, you know, they definitely, you know, are separated in sculpt from the rest of the knee. But I still think they look pretty good. And the pins are black here, so, you know, you can tell the details broken up a little bit because of the pins, but that's, you know, that's going to happen with some of these figures. All that leg detail looking really nice. She has some details on the back of the legs there. And then, last but not least, are the boots. I really like the boots. They look really cool. These nice combat boots with some nice, like, dark gray laces on the black here. Look fantastic. They even have on the joint, if you line it up, the sculpting of the laces right there. I really like these boots, man. They're really sick. And then you look at the top of the feet. Those look great. Even though that toe hinge will break up the sculpt a little bit when you move it, it still looks really good. The back of the boots, whatever these little like loop pieces are right there, that looks great. And then you have the bottom of the feet here. There's not much going on with treading, unfortunately, but they have something. You get the peg holes there. So I think that, you know, I'm gonna be fair here. You know, I'm usually critical on McFarlane Toys because I just don't like a lot of their products, but sculpting wise for most of their stuff, especially this figure, it's really good. Now I gushed over the detail of the figure, but the articulation is where it really suffers, and I kind of knew that when we, you know, got the promotional images. So I already have the head up here. Let's see if I can go a little higher. That's as far up as it wants to go. It's not amazing. It's still a decent amount. You can tell he's looking up at least. The down motion is actually pretty good. It's on a ball joint at the head, so it can, you know, tilt side to side a little bit, and it does get that swivel, which it will, you know, be a little bit hindered because of the tubing. So just be careful there. You do have arms that go all the way around, and you do have them going all the, you know, in and out all the way there. So that's nice. And you don't have an upper arm swivel here, but you do get a swivel. We'll get to that in a second. A swivel here, but that single joint elbow is not amazing, not great. Not a great range of motion in the bend. This was really tight when I got this out of the packaging, so be careful with your elbows. The swivel here, you know, even if you want to like swivel and bend it more, it's still not gonna get right at 90. It's to be expected. He's a very bulky character. These muscles, you know, the way they're sculpted, they're gonna get in the way, so I get it. I wish there was some way though. I just wish there was a way, you know. Anyway, we do have a swivel at the wrist as well as a hinge at the wrist. They've been doing this with a good number of their figures lately. We also have a ball jointed waist. The ball joint's not amazing because the back motion is not awesome. The forward motion is also kind of rough, and then you do get a swivel, but side to side is not great either. You do have legs because of this soft plastic piece. They actually allow it to go forward about that much. Could be better, could be worse. The back motion is actually pretty decent. Some Marvel Legends lately don't do that, so there's that. There's a little bit of a thigh swivel built in here, but not a lot. You do get a double jointed knee. It's really hard to bend the bottom part here. It's okay to bend that part more for me. You also get a hinge that actually goes forward pretty well and back decently too. And then you have that traditional ankle rocker there and then toe hinge. All right, size comparisons. As you can see, this figure is not going to scale too well with 6-inch figures. Like, it's going to be just a little too tall. It scales better with 7-inch figures. Me personally, I like a bigger Bane, so this with my 6-inch figures is going to look fine. You can see over on the far left with the Mezco Batman, I think they look pretty good together. Of course, I think Bane, again, looks a little too tall. Pretty good sizing over on the far right with Red Hood. And then we have a Marvel Legends Black Suit Spider-Man and the first version of Mando from the Black Series line. You can see just how much this figure towers over those two Hasbro lines. Before I give my final thoughts, I just want to say that the number of photos you're going to see at the end of reviews lately is going to be a little limited. I'd rather take the photos on my camera than my smartphone, but I can't transfer the camera photos to my phone without a computer, which is a big sad time there. Anyway, I do think that this is a pretty solid figure. I know I'm pretty critical on McFarlane Toys stuff. A good number of times I get their stuff. I still think my criticisms are valid. Definitely with this figure here, but there's some good about it too. I really like the overall size and sculpting of the figure. The articulation could be better in the upper torso. Lower torso though, those legs have some really good articulation. Biggest complaint, the amount of accessories, aka very much none. An extra set of hands just would have gone a long way with this set, honestly. Not just some open hands. We don't have a good way of him being able to fight just like this. I had to get some from a customizer, like I said earlier. But the overall detailing and paint and sculpt is very solid. And for 40 bucks, I do think that this is a pretty decent alternative to ones like the Injustice Storm Collectibles one, as well as the Mattel Build-A-Figure one that's been gone for a long time. And I believe we are getting a Mafex Nightfall Bane, if there's that option too. But if you want a more affordable one, here you go. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment down below what you think about the figure, what you think about the review. Leave a like, share amongst your friends. Follow me on Instagram for more content over there. Let's try to get back into the good rhythm of things with some of these reviews. Hopefully I'll get a computer soon, and I'll see you guys later.